I used to work in an industrial area that tends to be secluded and dark at night with minimal lighting along the roads. I also lived close to this previous job, so I would walk home instead of taking the bus. I can't drive. The bus routes tend to be awkward and have long wait times, so I usually just walk anyways. One night in early October, I've been walking through a parking lot to get to my place. I had to walk through a few parking lots to get to the place. However, the parking lots close to the main road were where these incidents occurred. Anyway, I'm walking through the desolated parking lot, and I'm listening to music and enjoying my walk when I get this suspicious feeling that I should look behind me. I look behind and I see this individual wearing a hoodie/track pants that appears to be maybe a woman. This person is pale and seems to be watching me after emerging from the bushes/trees she's hiding in. She picks up the pace from behind me and continues walking horizontal to me. I ran across the main road, and when I looked back, I could see her standing next to a set of trees. She then realizes that I can see her watching me, and she jumps behind a tree to hide. I go into some random apartments to hide from her and wait there for some time. I then left and went to my place. I told my mom about this incident, and now she said I should have called the police, but it doesn't stop there. So now it's early November, and I have this weird feeling that there's someone in this parking lot that I'm walking through. I was walking through a different parking lot this time as to the previous parking lot that had freaked me out because someone was watching me. As I'm walking through this parking lot, the person wearing a hoodie emerges from hiding behind a parked trailer talking on her phone. I'm now thoroughly freaked out and decide to pick up my pace and then get on the main road as fast as possible without alerting this person that I feel threatened by their presence. As I'm getting ready to cross the road, this person decides to cross the road as well and watches me as I cross the road. I book it to a random apartment and hide there until I assume she is gone. Now, the last time this happened to me was mid-November, a week after the second incident. I'm walking through the same parking lot that I saw her in the second time. Dumb, I know. This time, she emerges from hiding behind a trailer and starts walking towards me. I decide to just run and get back to the main road. I get across the main road and look back, and she's gone. I assume she must have been hiding behind the trailer, as there's no way she could have gotten out of the parking lot in that time. I decide to hide in the same apartment building as well. Now I have not seen her since, as it has been snowing, so it would be significantly easier to see her face, and it's too cold to wait out in the parking lot. I also no longer work there, so I have no need to take that route to work or anything. Now it could have been a man, as they were pretty tall, but I thought I heard her voice when she was talking on the phone and when I saw her for the first time. I thought she might have been a white female with dark hair. I've not gone to the police with this information, but I might. I doubt they will do anything with it. My mom thinks they might though. To satisfy your curiosity, everyone involved in this story is 13 or 14 years old and male. This happened in early 2004 in late October. Anyways, onto the story. My friend Derek recently got a text late at night from someone claiming he was a mutual friend of ours named Ian. The next day, Derek asks Ian why he texted him so late, and Ian tells him he actually didn't text him. So Ian and Derek start asking every one of our close friends if it was them, and they all deny that it was them. Later that day, during track practice, Derek gets a call from the person claiming to be Ian, and whoever was on the phone sounded exactly like the real Ian, but it was impossible because we saw Ian sitting on the stands and he wasn't even on his phone. Derek then put it on speakerphone for John and I to hear. We also did track and told him he knew it wasn't Ian, and the person on the phone said, "Yes, I am. You see me right now standing next to John and James, my name." This was absolutely terrifying. He knew our names, and he was looking right at us, and we had no idea who the hell he was. Derek hung up quickly after that. We each stupidly told each other that we don't want to get the police involved until he actually does something dangerous. The next day during our lunch, the whole group of friends got together and attempted to find out who the person was. As lunch was nearing its end, we ran out of ideas of who it could be, and then we got a text, of course. The text read, "I see you." As we read this, the six of us shot up from the table and started looking around to spot anyone looking suspicious, but we had no luck, and still had no idea who this was. At the end of the day, we decided that we'd just best stick together with Derek, as he was walking home just in case anything happened. As we were walking with Derek, he got another text. This time it just read, "I'm waiting." We basically shat our pants and sprinted towards Derek's house. We slowly approached the doorway and bursted into his house. No one was home, and there were 6 of us. We thought that 6 teenagers could equal 1 adult. We searched the house thoroughly and came up empty once again. There were no further incidents, and we never found out who this person was, but I have a hunch it was a local pedophile who's notorious for this sort of thing. Halloween has, unfortunately, never been a big deal out here in Scotland, and that's always bummed me out because I love Halloween, but after this year, I think I'll be happy never celebrating it again. My street and the next street over have a lot of young kids who go out trick-or-treating, so while I was out shopping all day with my mom, we decided to pick up some sweets in case anyone came to her door. I had plans to go to the cinema and see a Ouija with my boyfriend, so when I got home, I was getting myself ready to go out, while my mom was busy putting the groceries away. So when the first load of kids came to the door, I was the one who answered it. They were children from our street, the next one over, and some I couldn't recognize, as well as an adult at the end of the path. I guessed either a father and an older brother by the size, and they were all dressed in black and had some sort of mask on, covering up their face, but it wasn't anything I recognized from a movie or anything. Anyway, they told me their jokes, and I gave them their treats, and they made their way back down the path and on to the next house. I was about to close the door when I noticed that the guy with the kids was still standing at the end of my path. He hadn't noticed, and he wasn't watching the children either. He was looking right at me. My skin started to crawl when I realized that he was just staring at me. I backed slowly into the house and watched him as he raised his hand and waved very slowly at me. I was about to call out to him when my mom came to the door to make sure I was alright, and he took off in the opposite way from the children. He hadn't been with them at all, and he left as soon as he realized that I wasn't home alone. I was completely freaked out, and I told my boyfriend all about it when he came back to the house to pick me up, but I quickly forgot about all of it when we were watching the movie. When I finally got home, it was getting really late, and trick-or-treating was well and truly over around here. When I got inside, my mom was getting ready to take the dogs out for a walk so that they could do their last-minute business and they would meet my dad on his way home from work. So I was going to be home alone for a little bit. After my horrible encounter posted on here, I really don't like being home alone, but it's worse on Halloween, and it always has been. Anyway, I was home alone, and I grabbed some snacks and went up to my bedroom and onto my computer so I could do some of my writing, scroll through Tumblr, and listen to music. After an older first creepy encounter I had with guys coming into my house from my backyard, my dad bought a stop-motion sensor light and attached it to the wall of our house right outside my window. Normally it would go off when a cat walks along our fence, but it will usually go off after a couple of minutes. I always know that the light has come on because it lights up my whole room, given where it's placed, and while I was sitting at my computer, the light came on. I ignored it at first because I knew it would just go off soon, but 5 minutes pass and it still hasn't gone off. So I open my blinds to have a look outside, and I see what's going on. My stomach almost fell on my ass when I looked out and saw the creep from hours before sitting on the fence, waving at my window to keep the light on. His waving slowed suddenly when he spotted me, and it was all seriously creepy again, and I didn't know what to do. I just got flashbacks from before and what happened in the past. Luckily, I heard the front door open and my parents coming into my house with the dogs, so I rushed down the stairs and started screaming at them about the guy on the fence. My dad didn't question me, he just took the dogs and rushed through the house, threw the back door open and ran outside. Then I heard him shouting, "Get the fuck out of here, you creep, I'm gonna call the police." My dad had scared him off, but I convinced him not to call the police because I didn't want to relive the whole thing again. I just wanted to go sleep and forget all about this whole night. So, to the creepy guy in the mask waving at me from the end of the path and sitting on my fence, let's not meet again.